Hello everyone, welcome to another draft on channel Trevor-The-Timmy. Definitely appreciate everyone stopping by for this. We're doing another Kaldheim draft here, so we'll dive on into it. If you'd be so kind as to consider liking and subscribing, we'd definitely appreciate that. And hopefully we'll get some exciting videos in here. Just waiting on this final person. See if they'll speed it up for us so we can jump in. How's everyone doing today? Hope it's been a good day so far. Finally getting warmer around a lot of the country. Okay. So some interesting choices. They're rare, we have to be super into snow for that. Strider's probably a better pick. Pack 1 if you're going into snow. Just having 1 or 2 snowlands in play at a time makes this really good, where the Spirit is pretty mediocre there. Demon Bolt is outstanding, very good. These are probably like the 2 most obvious power commons here. Raptor's good. I really do like the Spirit. I think that's just a really strong card. So right now I'd be debating between Spirit, Strider, and Demon Bolt. I think we're going to just take Bolt. Leaves us open to going multiple ways. If something like this comes back around, then we go red-white. You're never unhappy to have a Demon Bolt, though. Interesting. So red-black isn't absolutely my favorite combination. This is pretty clearly the card that jumps out to me first. This is also good in aggressive decks, but I think we're just going to take Feed and see where we go from here. We could easily end up being aggressive, wheeling something like this is just really strong in those decks. It's a way to finish the game out. This has been fine. I don't think it's awesome in the aggro decks, so we're going to stick with Feed. Just stay open with a lot of removal here. Interesting. So we could go into some kind of 5-color nonsense, which I definitely appreciate. Or we could stay aggressive. This is just a really strong aggressive card. It's also a very strong aggressive card, which is probably just the safer option overall. But I do love 5-color nonsense. I'm sure everyone's excited for that. We probably won't have any gods, but this is just all kinds of mana fixing. Based on what we've seen, though, we haven't had too much going on with that. We're going to stay aggro. It's going to keep on plan. I know it's not as crazy exciting, but trying to pivot to 5-color, being with those, I don't think the Jund base is particularly great, and not having any lands, and they don't seem to be coming around. Super great filling into 5 colors. This is not a high priority one. So if we end up being heavy Berserker, this is pretty good. If we don't end up being heavy of a particular color, not as good then. I think it's between Run Amok and Bloodline Pretender here. I think we're just going to take them Run Amok. I mean, it's great when those wheel, but they're just very strong in the aggressive style decks. I have not liked that. Feed is going to be a pretty easy pick here. I really like this in the white aggressive decks. We'd love to have a pick or two, but black seems to be open. We'll just keep taking good removal spells, play some early creatures, and remove lots of things ideally. Not a lot for us here. Move into the plow deck. I don't think that's particularly great anyway. If we were a blue aggressive deck, I've had that be good a couple times. I think we're just going to take the pup. It's a early creature, fits in with the boast at least a little bit. Probably the best versions of the deck, we won't play it, but there's a chance we do play it. Priest, well, we have no snowlands, but I do like that card. I think it's just going to be the reinforcements, just as a strong ability to make a couple creatures and go a little wide. Again, we've got a lot of removal, so being able to make multiple creatures seems pretty strong. So the question now is, do we want to keep making multiple creatures? Do we want this as the kind of pseudo removal spell? We're just going to go the multiple creatures route. White does seem to be open too, but I think we've got enough. I mean, black, we have 2 very strong, they are double black, but 2 very strong cards. Red maybe isn't insanely open, but a lot of these are just, I'd say, more filler red cards. that we may end up playing, actually. We can make a lot of bodies, just constantly making them 3 power flyers. Seems good. Don't really want to go up to that. If we were in white, we'd love the Raptor, but we are not. Not the kind of card you're going to splash. Nothing else is in the colors, so we'll take that and probably end up playing it. This is going to be easy. Just snap, put that in our deck. Nothing else particularly there for us. The lands are just so good in this format. I mean, having a couple tap lands isn't a huge deal in almost any deck. You can find a spot to fit them in the curb, and just getting value later is awesome. You can burn somebody out, hit their last card. It's outstanding. So we're just going to keep going wide. I don't know the maximum number of these I'll play. This has just been fine against a lot of decks. With all the foretell, it can be a little awkward. We just are going to want more creatures overall. So we could play this as a potential finisher. This needs double white, so that's a ways off. I don't think we're playing that. We'll take the Pursuit. If you get some early damage in, or if we get some combination of one of these with the wings and kind of hitting them and getting ahead, this could just really finish it and make it tough for people to catch back up to, since you're gaining the life. I mean, if we were going to go white, that's pretty solid. We're going to take Seize, and if we decide we want to splash something, if the deck ends up not being super strong, we can play it. It's going to start off on the board for us, though. Not a super strong card. We're realistically not playing either of these. I have not loved the Longboat. That we will play, though. So, just wins long games, not insane in an aggressive deck, but there's a lot of other benefits you get from this. I've seen a lot of random things come up too. Just any creature abilities are definitely, I don't think we have any of those right now, but any creature abilities end up being a lot better. Giving Death Touch isn't insane, especially the equipment we have is giving us flying, so we really don't want to make it have Death Touch. Would be thrilled to get that on the wheel. Definitely would play a Squash. Probably not more than 1 or 2 unless we get a lot of Giants. Potentially play a Hulk. Maybe a Rights as well, but we're just going to take the Nexus and be happy with it. Gives us kind of a late game that we otherwise do not really have access to. So we can take the Ravager here. I don't think we have a lot of duplicate types other than using the reinforcements. So mostly it's going to be a 4/2 deal 1, which is fine. I like Frostbite a lot too. Just being a cheap removal spell. It's pretty strong. We just have some expensive cards. I think we're going to take this with the upside. If we had the same deck but pack 3, I think I would take Frostbite. Not a huge amount that I'm excited about right off the bat. We don't have Snowlands, others I would consider that. That could be kind of nice with the Nexus to return things. The downside right now is most of our creatures are tied up in sorceries, so not a really high priority quite yet. We'll probably play a Rights, having a bunch of those. I think we're just going to take the 2-drop for right now, though, and plan on getting aggressive. Making sure we can play creatures on curve. Okay, here's a lot of stuff for us. So we'd love to have one of those. These are both also very powerful cards. I think we're going to take the Titan, just having, well, for the giant synergies, but also having a lot of go wide and just win a game. They also both work pretty well there. We'd love taking this if either the Helm or the Firewalker came back. We'd probably play the way down. I'm not so much sure about the Recruiter, but we'd just love for the Firewalker to come back. Good white card. Not particularly for us, red card. Not something we want to play against, granted. Are we getting up there in creatures? 5 creatures. This is still a little awkward with that, but I think we'll play 1. We don't really have a great way to, I guess we can equip. We'll take the way down. I think there's a little more upside with that. Oh, that's going to be an easy. We'd love to have another one of those. I love Roundbuck. easily probably my second favorite red common. Not necessarily the best. There's definitely better ones, but probably my favorite is the 3-drop and then Run Amok. Obviously Demon Bolt is better, but I just love the way they play, how powerful they are. This is just a 2-drop that can run away with the game, though, so we will take that and be thrilled. This has not been particularly great whenever I've played it. So we don't have a lot of great creatures to return right now. I'm just going to take Run Amok. I think very highly of it. Well, this is just nuts in the red-white deck. Very good. Raider's just fine. We have 4 Berserkers. That's the most we have of anything. Probably like one of those. We're just going to default go with that. Let's get another 2-drop. Let's kind of eat our vegetables, play 2-drops. We don't really need that now that we have an additional couple 4s. We'll take Squash. We have a couple ways to turn it on. We'll play at least one of them. We can maybe play Gifts. I think we'd rather play Run Amuks than it, but depending on what ETBs we have. And not getting any of the Boast guys coming back is kind of rough with that. We just don't have a lot of... We've got 2 Boasters. Not a very boastful deck so far. We will take the Raise here. We have enough high end, I think. We'll take the Pup. It's not insane. I don't think we want 3 Pups. That's getting a little aggressive. We will take that, though. Get our 3rd Pup anyway. Meant to be. Well, Demon Bolt's really good. Magda is also pretty good. Plus, we get to maybe someday live that Maskwood Nexus Dream. Maybe that's enough to have us bring in the vehicle too, so we can try to do that. And we'd love Demon Bolt, but I think there's just a lot of upside here with how many dwarves we have too, so we'll take that. Frostbite's a pretty good one, even it's just a shock, but for the 1-mana shock is great. How often will we be casting 2 spells? Maybe often enough. We do have a lot of removal already. In this deck, the Run Amuks are basically removal. We have the Way Down, we have a Demon Bolt, have a couple Feed the Serpents. We might even pick up one more of something, so I think we're going to take that for the upside. Oh, another Frostbite that we're not taking. Poison the Cup's just awesome removal, though. Hits anything. Hard to be unhappy about that. Well, that's an outstanding one, too. Just kind of a Wrath. Potentially a one-sided Wrath, too, which is the best kind of Wrath. Just a little bit less for us here. We could potentially play some Longboats. I don't think we're playing any of these, though, so we're just going to take the rare. Keep going free to play. I don't know if we even have 4 of those yet, but it'll either build towards the 4 so we don't open them, or give us some gems. I don't think we have any snow synergies that it's worth drafting that. I could be forgetting something, but I'm pretty sure we do not. No. Okay, so there's just no upside in drafting that. I mean, we could maybe play a raid. I don't think we're playing that either. Things we won't get enough snow lands, even if we hit some of the frost bites, so that just isn't worth it. We did have a frostbite. We'll see if it can prove me wrong. We'll just take it. Removal's removal. Maybe we play Village Rites. Oh, never mind. This is the rare one. I thought this was the uncommon. That's just an easy pick. How many Berserkers are we at? 8. Oh, God, this thing's going to be insane. So there's 8 and then 11. And this makes everything Berserker, so we just have 12 ways to make Berserkers. Just nuts. Good thing I actually confirmed. Oh, that would have been a mistake. I don't know a world that I'm playing 4 pups. Probably not even playing 3. This isn't good either. Especially not taking Snowland. I guess that would have been a reason to. It is a Berserker. Probably not playing it, but we'll take it. Another Frostbite we'll be happy about. All the Frostbites, I guess. Interesting. Would not have guessed all those would come around. So we're kind of a weird combination of like an aggressive, but also we have a lot of removal. And we can just win some late games with this. Do we want the longboats? Thing is, do we have any good creatures to tutor out? Not particularly. I don't think we need the way down. Let's take the longboat and see. I don't think we're going to end up playing either of them. Oh, another longboat. They really want to be in the deck. Somebody else can have a playable. Oh, the pup makes it around. Oh, look at all those extra gems. Okay, let's build this deck. See what we can do. Okay, let's go on 2 pups right away. We will maybe even go further down. I don't particularly love gifts. Do have enough Berserkers that that's probably worth it. Let's just make them. Where is it down here? The Nexus. Okay, yep, so it does in the graveyard. Gives them the same 2. Raid we'll get rid of. I don't think we need Pursuit. That's going to hurt us a little bit going down on a Berserker. So many Berserkers. At least one more pup. We'll probably go down to 0 pups because they have not been insane for me. Let's do that to start. I think we can get rid of way down. I don't really like 1, but having 3 Frostbites just means don't really need it. We maybe should cut a Frostbite and play the way down instead. But I don't love having to exile a lot of things from our graveyard because we do have ways to bring them back. So much removal. That's such a terrible problem to have, right? Let's cut a land. We'll be okay with 16 being on the more aggressive side. We can cut a Pursuit. It's just been fine when I've played it, nothing insane. I think we want the wings to have some evasion here. So we have a nice aggressive deck, but then a way to kind of get that little bit of less damage in. How many giants was it? Oh, this is just any of a, isn't it? So I could be our Berserkers and just do a bunch. Not a lot of giants and wizards, though. Probably means we're cutting squash, because we just have so much other removal, and that one can just be really clunky. Like that for going wide. Talking about the Doomscar Titan here. If we have to build up a wider board, then can win out of more or less nowhere with that. Maybe just 2 Frostbites. Must be a good problem to have to be able to cut removal spells. Then we'll be punished for that. What do we have for creatures? 9 creatures, so 9. It's technically a creature. 10, 13. That's kind of a creature too, so 14. That's not bad overall. With Run Amucks, though, maybe we do just cut the wings. And go, we don't need a way to fly over, so we have so much removal. I'm okay with that. We'll cut the wings for now and see how the deck runs. What does our curve look like here? A lot of 4s, but a lot of them can be played cheaper. So, and the 1/6 that can be played cheaper too. So that's not bad. We'll take that with 16 so we don't flood much. Okay, we'll give this a try. As we're jumping in, everyone, leave a comment. How will you feel this will do in the league? If I'm guessing, I guess this is a 4-win deck. With the removal, we should be able to get some games. I can see some of the decks just going bigger, like the 5-color green decks. They can just outcard advantage us even with all the removal. So I'd think 4 is our average. Maybe if we get some luck, we'll get the 5th win. Mountain Man Magic. Triple M. Here we got our colors. Perfect. And we're going to curve Berserker into that. So, I mean, this is just an easy keep. If we hit another land, we'll definitely play the Raider. Okay, well, that makes that easy because we can discard a land and then play this. We won't be activating him on turn 3 anyway. Are they elves? Well, now we really want to discard a land. Okay, well, we're hitting some lands. They are just foretelling it up here. Well, let's get that out. We'll be happy with a draw too. Especially because we're more or less going to force them to block with Run Amok. I mean, if they don't, we'll be happy just dealing 4 to them and drawing 2. That makes it a little more awkward because they can do a 1-for-1 trade. They can trade here. But if they block that, then it's not killing it. We will take it, though. We'll draw some cards. This card's been very good when I've gotten to play it. Doesn't help if we draw 2 lands. That's about the worst draws we could have. Our 16 land deck, we'll hit 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ugh. 9 of the first 14 are lands. No blocks, huh? They have mad respect for Run Amok. Jeez. This is brutal. 10. 10 of the first 15 cards are lands. That's a rough one. I mean, it happens to everyone at some point, but I think if we hit 1 or 2 less lands out of this, we have run away with this game pretty easy. As is, it's going to be a little more difficult. Plus side is we can boast and eat something next turn. I mean, most likely that's just dying. Okay, makes sense. You're going to fight too. Oh, binding the monster. I have not loved that. Would like the scry. Well, let's hold on to that for now if we need to. This doesn't empty, I believe. So if we need to, we can play it. I mean, they most likely have a removal spell, but we're going to go for this. Okay, we'll get in there for some damage. Let's foretell. And then we'll kill that end of turn if it's the biggest threat, or if they have a bigger threat, we'll kill that. We're just going to run out of gas, though. Did not think that would happen. Sure. So to win this, we need them to not have a creature for sure. It's awkward that that's a 4/4/2. We could draw or deal 3 damage to everything. Okay, let's go for the kill. Oh, well, that's a concession. We'll take it. I'm not sure that they were actually dead. If they could see we had 3 lands, I think they would feel a lot better. We will take it, though. A win is a win. Words of wisdom from Trevor-The-Timmy. Write that down. Well, we're going to keep this again. We can curve out Berserkers and hopefully draw a bunch. It would have been so bad if we didn't draft this. Just completely miss it. Nah, I don't need this. Too good. Well, where's our perfect mana? 3 red, only 2 swamps. Come on. Okay. So we won't be attacking this turn, but thank you, opponent. So next turn we're probably demon bolting. We'd like to get our draw 2 on. See what the opponent's got here. Got a reader. Hopefully they don't have a mass removal spell. That would be awkward. Oh, I love that. Love a poison the cup of my 2/3. It's a little less fun that I have to use my demon bolt, but we will get to get in for 2 and draw a card, which is nice. If we'd had this, maybe we were holding that. Maybe that is too aggressive. Unless they play an elf, we will attack into that. Because this will just make another one. We're gonna get the cup poison going here. So next turn we can boast again, unless they have a removal spell, but then we can poison the cup and kill that. Okay, you can have our land. You got it. We didn't need the 5th mountain anyway. Unfortunately, that means it's going to trade with this, but... Oh. Aggressive. So maybe we're supposed to hold that now. If we're going to boast here, hold it for another disciple. I mean, so they're probably trading... Maybe they won't trade with this one, but... I think we're going to... So we can wait to remove this. The downside is if they have the draw spell, then they can sacrifice it to gain some value. Let's go to combat first, though, and see what happens here. So the other option, if they do that, is we can just kill this. That might be getting too cute. Okay, that's probably a better play from our opponents, because if we kill the one, we just keep making creatures. We will keep making creatures though. Well, let's get in for some damage. So now the question is, do we hold the land? So we're gonna do this end of turn. Cast this for 4. I think we're okay holding the land for another potential disciple. We're gonna hold up poisoning the cup. We can get the scribe value at the end of their turn. Well, that's not my favorite thing that ever happened. Well, let's try. Well, there it is. We correctly named the card. Or correctly thought about the card, and then still got blown out by it. But if they have another one, that's pretty silly. We'll take either of the trades here. Let's keep making 2/1s. We're going to hold the mountain still. I don't think we're accelerating much out. We need another swamp to cast 2 spells anyway. If they have any kind of discard, we'd rather be a mountain. So any non-mountain card I think we'd be pretty happy with here. Ideally just the guy that gives everybody +1/+0 in haste. That would be a solid draw. We probably would be setting that up for 2 turns though. We'd be boasting it and this, and then casting it the following turn, trying to go really wide. Yeah, we will not block with 2 things. They might have some kind of wrath, but there's no reason to trade with 2. Trade 2 for that. Okay. I don't think our opponents have an outstanding deck so far. I mean, they're in just as good a spot to win as we are. Okay. Well, I don't think they're actually going to block here, so we're going to get in for damage. Really? Okay, we'll take that. I mean, it does give up potentially 1 later. I really did not think they were going to do that, though. Let's foretell this. It foretells for 5-0, so we do need to cast this turn. So hopefully they attack and only play 1 creature, and then we hit in for at least 9 damage. They can't force us to discard this, which is good. Well, no blocks again. Keep hitting for 3. Just play 1 crappy creature. That would be best. Ideally. Okay, we can sacrifice 2 creatures. We can definitely do that. We'll hit for 8. Hope you've got another one of those. I mean, I really hope they don't have another one of those, but they need something like that. I'd even take just a removal spell into creature. This will run amok. Run them amok. If they want to feed the serpent, great. This might be better for the elves decks, I've seen, to be fair. I don't think it's super strong, but I don't really like the elves decks anyway. Okay. Well, got there. Yeah, my other advice for the day, if you're taking advice, is don't draft elves. I'm sure there has been a good elf deck at some point in this format. I've just not seen one that's looked good so far. I think most of the creatures are not particularly great. We'll have to have that as a challenge at some point. Try to draft an elves deck and see if we can turn one out. So anytime I've started to draft anything elves, it's turned into 5 colors, and it feels much better as 5 colors. Come on, opponent. Join so we can play. Yeah, and outside of playing 5-color green, definitely recommended being aggressive decks, whether that's white, red. Boros is outstanding based on that. I've really liked red-black, actually. Drafted it a couple times, and it's felt strong most of the times I do it. I think a lot of people don't particularly like black. This is a little awkward. We'll probably keep and pitch this looking for a black land. Not ideal, but there's enough upside that this is probably the best card in our deck. And I don't see them killing dorky things like this, so we can build up a decent amount of Berserkers, and then when we actually want to, get in there. Okay, well, let's discard the black card. I mean, we could go with the double black card, but okay, that's not the best thing ever. Really would have liked a 3rd land, especially being on the draw and digging 1 card deeper, but can't have it all. Can have it all. Have it all at all times. Now I suppose we should just be really greedy and hope for another black land so we can wrath them. So I think if they've got a removal spell, they probably want to remove one of the creatures. There's some world where we're supposed to hold this, but I like being aggressive. That's a little awkward. Oh, they're going to get aggressive, huh? I think staying back is a better way to do it, my friend. They did get the ramp, though. That they did do. That's not how I would have done it. We'll take the draw, too. Well, that would have been nice if we got to pump. Okay, well, let's just play some stuff out. Kind of love this. I'm hoping they play a couple more X3s. What are we, all Berserkers? That would be outstanding. We could just have a game over situation, because we would make... Oh, this is only for dwarfs, isn't it? So it'll only make 2 treasures. Boo. Oh, that's less good, too. I mean, we can still kill all of their stuff by Crippling Fear. Okay, they're dedicated to getting into there for that 4. Yeah, we will not block. Hey, at least they're hitting some lands. They're gonna have something big and dumb to end the game, I'm sure. So this is gonna be just brutal. Add 4. We'll get the boast too. That's pretty silly. So we don't want to, well, I think we can hold that. Is that just lethal? Is everything +1, so this would be 5 unless they block it. And then 3, 7, 10, 13, so not quite lethal. Oh, but we can just Demon Bolt that. Yeah, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Turns out just getting 4 mana is pretty silly. I don't know what they have that's free though that they're. So we're going to attack before it blocks. We're going to get our treasures. We're going to double frostbite this so we can still activate that. I realize just using the one card is normally better, but we'd like to use our mana efficiently here. And then they do just absolutely need a Wrath. I think they were just dead anyway. Yeah, pretty dead. That was a silly, silly draw. I do think our opponent was much too aggressive, though. I mean, they did hit the 2 lands, which is nice. I think you're supposed to be holding back. Not knowing what's in their hand, obviously. And I don't think they had a good chance of beating us with how dumb that draw was. But I think playing against the aggressive deck, they should have been trying to hold back. Obviously, Run Amok just messes them up still, but they were kind of pseudo racing us, which wasn't going to work well. It didn't look like obviously didn't work out, but it didn't look like it would from what they had in their hand. So we are going to keep this. If we hit a 4th land, we'll probably pitch a red land to this on turn 2. Otherwise, we will foretell and then save this for later. So it's actually pitching something we don't want. We can start to build up wide. Ooh, they've got the pup. The pup is kind of awkwardly good against us. Let's play the black land. Let's foretell that. Try to build up a board and go for a win with Doomscar Titan. And if they leave the pup back ever, we will attack into it and run amok. Get us for 1. Watch this thing just destroy us when I cut 4 from the deck. That's a nutso 1. We're going to get blown out city by Run Amok here, but we will throw 1 in front of it. I mean, unless they've got a good reason to attack with this. Okay, that makes more sense. You can either get in 1 free damage or... there's no way I'm going to throw 2 creatures in front of the 1/1. We'll take 1 for a long time. So we might be pitching Feed the Serpent if we're not hitting anything. If we don't hit another land, just to see if we can hit a land. Okay, yeah, let's see if we can hit a land here. So at least we can play Poison the Cup. We'd like to have Feed. Run Amok's cheap. This is a way for us to win a late game, so... okay. Let's see if we can get any blocks here. I think we probably just actually handle the trades, though. I don't think we go with I don't think we go for the Run Amok. Yeah, let's just get rid of that guy right now. No reason to let him get a creature off of it. No, sure, I like our Frostbite target a little bit better than theirs. So if they ever tap out, we'll consider running amok. I think they're going to keep attacking, though. That's a good one. No matter what, it kills something. It's a very good one. Especially when you get to do that. This is probably just going to be a Poison the Cup kind of turn. So So we really don't want to stay back on defense. Just not where we want to be. This is one more mana. I want the ability to scry. Hopefully they don't have another giant creature to follow it up, but okay, we do not want either of those. That scry was incredibly valuable. We're still not in a great spot because any creatures they play are getting in. If we get locked in any kind of race, that's going to turn into a removal spell most likely. The 3 mana, it's not Oblivion Rings, doesn't exile it, but 3 mana rest, I guess, effect. So that's not ideal. They give something flying too. Okay. Get treasure. We will not go for the run amok. Hopefully we keep them attacking still, and then we will go for the Titan next turn for 5, and then if we have this still around, we get to run amok too. I think that is as a instant, so it's strange that they would do that now. Oh, it's 2 and or. That's spicy. I've only ever searched for 1. That's really good. I think they're going to be dead, so I don't think it will matter. Oh, yeah. Oh, poor opponent. I think when you have both of those, you're better just holding back, even if you get blown out by run amok. So we can cast this. That should be, so it's 9/12. Yeah, super dead. I mean, they were realistically going to be dead either way, but I think they want to hold back. Once you search for 2 cards like that, you get to make the Angel and have a great removal spell, you're just going to win a long game. So no reason to be overly aggressive, even if you have a somewhat awkward block. So I think they left themselves open to like a double run amok. Could have killed them. I'm counting correctly. Maybe not. I mean, the giant is very tough to play around from experience. There's not a lot you can do to +1/+0 in haste. Big dog. Let's go. Okay, well, we're probably pitching a black card again, but since the rest of the hand is red and we can cast it all, we're going to keep this. We'd rather have more gas and less lands. I mean, we do want a 3rd and 4th land. We probably are going to play him, because if we hit another land and they somehow don't play a creature, just, again, run away with the game. It's not. Oh well. That's definitely an oh well. So since we have something that pays us off for having a lot of the same creatures, I probably will not attack into that. Oh, this is going to be awkward that they have a lot of Berserkers. We will hold this again, just the upside of it. Okay. No reason to attack. We can always choose dwarf or something. Or we could just have more berserkers than they do, potentially. Maybe not, though. It's interesting. I don't even know if I want that trade. I don't for right now. We'll take having a treasure, I think, though. I mean, if I was a little higher on lands, I'd probably never make that attack, but if we get these out too, being able to get that sooner rather than later seems pretty good. They either need to remove this or hang back then, or they don't. Oh, they're going to sacrifice it? Sure. I like the way that turned out. Indubitably. Okay, so what's our plan, Stan? We're going to foretell this. We're going to hold up Frostbite. We're going to discard a black card. Alternately, we could have done that, but yeah, resolve that. I still think we're holding this. There's just so much upside that we can at some point get a lot of value. That's not great for us. Oh, it's going to get indestructible too. Okay, well that's a step in the right direction. Oh, well, so our options are, well, I guess we can attack and see if they trade. We'll Frostbite it. Otherwise, we'll Demon Bolt it. I assume they don't, out of respect for. Okay, we will do that. You got it. Oh, that's awkward. I really don't want to. Probably should. Well, that was going to come back either way. Didn't really matter then. Fine. You got us. Let's get this down so we can Demon Bolt their guy next turn and kind of race. I mean, we're still putting a lot. This is looking a lot better with 5-drops. I don't like 5-drops in these aggressive decks, but it's making that card a little better, especially when it's going to hit us for 6. Oof. No blocks, thank you. Sure, you've got a pet. You got a friend in me. Hopefully, just play another small creature. Oh, well, that's not my favorite thing that ever happened. Oh, that having a counter on is so bad for us, huh? So bad for us. So we can take 8 next turn. Let's foretell that. Probably just going to block and throw a Demon Bolt at it. Probably still blocking and throwing a Demon Bolt at it. If they've got Run Amok, it is game over. So we really need a black source. That would be our best draw here. Come on, black source. That's so close to being a black source. I think we just hold that. I don't think there's a lot of reason to. It'd be great if they had an X1. We're dead to about a million things here. Oh, let's block that one. Now we still need to draw a black land, so we're hoping they play another creature. Well, that does not do it. If we'd held this, I guess we're still technically alive, so that's something. I think the upside is still worth it, but it definitely cost us that game. Maybe knowing we're in a Berserker kind of mirror makes that wrong, but I think even if we can leverage where it's just killing one more of their creatures than ours, it's probably worth it. Not how we wanted it to go, but we've gotten lucky on a couple of them, so we'll take it. And we are exactly at 4 wins, which is what we predicted, so we're still on track to have our exact prediction. I haven't loved that Imp. I feel like that's been I mean, it's playable. Basically, most cards nowadays are playable, but I've not enjoyed it. I think most often it's just a 3-mana 2/2, and then you sometimes get it to be a 3/3 with a little bit of work, which is, I think in most decks you can do better than a 3-mana 3/3 you have to work for. Now, if you're triggering it multiple times, outstanding. I just don't know how many decks are doing that. Maybe the very top white-black aggressive decks are. Well, we didn't get to play this yet. That's almost enough reason to keep it. Our uncastable, rest of the hand. Ooh, okay, well, we're going to hope that this is really good. I think we're getting rid of him, actually. As much as I like it, we're just not playing another creature for a while. We're not playing another spell, 2 spells on a turn. So we're going to lead into him. Hopefully they don't play a 2-drop so we can make a second one. And then we'll draw land and Wrath. Awkwardly, we want them to play one but not play one. That seems reasonable to hope for, right? They both can play and not play creatures. Why aren't you a dwarf, wizard, giant, berserker, everything? Why aren't you everything? Okay, well, we're going to get at least a... Let's play the black lion so we have it down. We're getting at least one more creature out of him. One more turn of no spells. Oh, that's fine. Oh, really? So we'll just keep making these if you let us. Gladly. I mean, they could have the Wrath back, but it's a 1-for-1 then. We've invested obviously a lot of mana, but we're in a pretty good racing spot with just playing one creature. If they've got the fight card, they definitely should have cast it before combat. Ooh, spicy. I don't think that's... I mean, you're going to get an Angel or Cleric. I have not seen this played in draft at all yet. Oh, opponent. Oh, that's a good one. I'm glad that's recorded. The instant concession. Oh, this poor guy. Just no Clerics or Angels. I think we were in an okay spot anyway, but that's one way to do it. The 4-mana kill your own creature. Shame concede. Just the pro tip, it's probably why you don't draft that in most situations. But if you choose to, make sure you know your curve. I think they must have thought you could just birthing pot it, so you can do it without. This is an awkward hand. I think we're keeping it. We really are hoping to draw 2 or 3 creatures in a row. I mean, that is a creature technically. I should have specified lower costing creatures, but I guess if they don't play a creature, we can... Okay, so much for that hope. Let's just foretell this. We don't really want to return just one thing yet. We might get to a point where we're just returning 1, but not yet. Oh, this Crippling Fear is just going to constantly be 3 mountains, 1 swamp, Crippling Fear. Well, now we can do that, but do we even want to? Might just be holding off for the Titan if they cast it. So awkward. So awkward. Yeah, let's return that back. I think I'd... Based on how his hand is, it could just be wrong. I could just supposed to be going Titan, but we'll see. Oh, you want to return it? That was something, huh? You just did not want to. Okay, interesting. So this would be a 5, so it wouldn't even kill them. Now, alternately, if we make this 5 power, it also doesn't kill, so that's awkward. But I guess we trade it with Kasmina and be happy about it. That thing's going to be a real pain in the ass, too. But we should be able to get it with the fear, so. And we can always represent double run amok. Just single block. Oh. Yeah, let's get rid of Kasmina. I mean, this thing will be a pain, but if they want to spend 2 mana every turn to make it bigger, we'll go for a race. So what we could do here, and this is probably the way to do it, is just block this and then choose Dwarf and Wrath. Yeah, that's fine. We'll take it. It's not the greatest thing ever, but we get to play him next turn and hold up Run Amok, which is solid. Just hope they don't have a removal spell, which apparently they don't. I mean, they have to have a removal spell eventually. We will not cast creature or not cast Run Amoks until they force us to. Okay. That's a good one. That is a good one. It's going to be really fun when you throw all of those in front of it. Well, let's get our value out of these while we can. The opponent's not going to be a happy camper. I mean, hope they don't have a Wrath. That was not bad. Oh, it's been bound. The unfortunate thing is unless you have a removal spell, that doesn't save you. Okay. So I do not like that card unless you're an aggressive deck. You have to be super aggressive for it to be worth it for you. So otherwise, you're just taking 4 damage when you cast your removal spell. So that's fine in a mid-range kind of mirror, but when you play against an aggressive deck, it's not good enough. I'd recommend not playing many of those, or any if you're mid-range or controlling. Maybe one if you need a super early play. You're just running low on early plays, so you can play it on turn 2. Then there's some value to it. There was a video we had where we were blue-white flyers, more or less, and it was very aggressive. And that deck, it was outstanding. And I think we played 3 in that deck. So if you have something like that where you're white-blue really aggressive, Blue-red, extremely aggressive. By all means, play it. Outside of that, though, do yourself a favor and avoid it if you can. Foul Blade. Well, good old no red mana. Really don't like mulliganing. If you've watched, you know that. This is not a particularly great hand, though. But we could get 2 Berserkers back. We're going to keep it. If we get a red land, hand becomes really good. I shouldn't say really good. Hand becomes much better. But, oh, look at that. Never didn't have it. We'll play the red land in case we get discarded somehow. We're going to hold on to this, because if we hit another land, we'll want to pitch a land. We'll hit a 4th land eventually for that. What have you got? Well, that's going to get a frostbite unless they block. Well, frostbite it is. We could play a 2/2, but it's too easy for them to get around it. That thing is just nutso. It's not great to use our whole turn up doing it, but no reason to let them kind of cascade and start getting value. Looks like we're going to get some damage into what if this dies? Does it make it 2/2? Okay. We will pitch a land here. See if we can find some more gas. Not exact. I mean, it is gas, not exactly what we would have wanted. We were hoping for something 3 or less, but we will take it. Okay, well, they are going to cast a second. Oof. That's a beating. Maybe we should have been trading off a little more aggressively so we can raise. We'll see. We're not in a good spot now, though. Looks like the opponent's deck is very strong. Having double Clarion Spirit, either they drew incredibly well, but having 2 of them already is very, very good. Just you need to follow it up with Packmate. This card that replaces itself brings an extra 1/1. Especially against our X1s. So if we could draw a Wrath, wouldn't do anything against that, but it'd be really good against everything else. We will not block. Come on, give us a Wrath. It's kind of like a Wrath. The thing is, we need to cast this, so... do they have? The +1/+1 trick? I don't... Or they've got a stop on. That could also be. So now becomes the question of, do we want to run amok? So we get in for, assuming they don't have any kind of trick, we get in for 6, put them to 8. We don't have that next turn. They're hitting us for 7 back, though, so they've got us on a 2-turn clock. Yeah, we'll just go to damage here. Very unsure about that. Really wish we had a second red source. But we're going to keep setting up so we can hopefully Berserker Wrath them. If they don't block next turn, they tap out and do not block somehow, we can go for a lethal, which is reasonable. Okay. Oh, oof, that's not good. That is not good, my friends. Well, let's exile that. Just get that out of here. We will not attack, thank you. Yeah, we're in a lot of trouble with that one. The good old aggressive deck that plays the 6-drop. Oh, that's a beating. I mean, they've just got a lot of strong cards, so I can't be too upset. But that's not normally how you draw it up with your Clarion Spirit deck. 6-drop generally doesn't let you play 2 spells in a turn. They have the rare, the 3 green rare. For another red, I mean, we need one to try to steal a game here. But we can play this. Oh, jeez. Yeah, the only thing we're going to double block is if they attack with the Clarion Spirit itself. Thank you. We're not winning this game by trading resources. Gross. So by attacking with all of these, we can still run amok. And we'll get some treasure tokens. So we can't actually kill them here, so keeping this alive seems good. Let's just play this out. Are we discarding Raise is the question. Probably. Well, maybe we aren't. So if they attack, they've got 6, or we have to chump something. I mean, we need to cast that. Just do we discard? I don't think that's going to be where we. I mean, that's not great either. But this gives us some outs to kill them. I don't think we're winning a game where this becomes relevant, because that means a lot of our creatures are dying. Bringing back a 2/1 is not good enough. That's not good. What the heck did they exile? Oh, Jesus. Jesus. That was just stupid. Well, I give all my creatures +1/+1. Yeah, I mean, we have to try to stay alive, I guess. I guess we have to stay alive. Yeah, so that was definitely a corrected discard. Well, we can draw a whole bunch and lose 3 life. I mean, they should correctly just throw blockers in front of everything. They probably won't throw the angel, but they should. Jeez, they still got creatures to exile too. No fear. We're going to make that angel pay. See the angel. It's my angel. So against a normal deck, I think this is a pretty good draw. Less good against that particular one. Yeah, it was a very strong white-green deck. That's probably the best white-green deck I've seen in this format, and we're what, 40 drafts in, 40, 50 drafts in, something in that neighborhood. Okay, well, down to that last game. See if we can do it. Yeah, if we hit the Wrath either those couple turns earlier, where we clear out their board and leave 2 or 3 of our creatures behind, we would just have won the game with that single card. But you can't hit perfect every time, no matter how much you want to. Okay, well, we got a 2-drop into our best card, so we're keeping. We've even got double black for Feed the Serpent. That doesn't happen often. Okay. You can live with that. So now the question is, are we casting this before? Because we could draw a whole bunch of cards, probably depending on if we hit lands or not. Based on not having another red, I think we're just going to cast this out and be happy with potentially drawing 2. Hopefully drawing at least 1. But we could have a nasty turn with following it up. Oh, sure, you can have our swamp. Yeah, we will for sure run amok that thing. We will take the draw 2. Love it. Maybe not loving 2 lands. Just keeping our creature alive, though, and continuing to get in damage is exactly where we want to be. So we need to draw something to do with these excess lands. 7 of the first 12. Not great. Not as insane as the one earlier game in this league. Okay. Just equip. Come on. You know you want to equip. I mean, we're going to... Oh. They don't even want to leave it back. Okay. That I like. So let's just get this out. We're going to hold up Feed the Serpent. I'm not sure. I think holding back is the better play. We're going to hold up 2 lands because we're going to do this end of turn. Do this on our turn. If needed. It's really not a good reason to play more lands out when they could have I mean, we've already seen that they have 1 Disciple, so there's a good chance there's another one. Well, unless they go for an equip. And even then, we're going to wait to see if they attack. Because if they attack, I just don't care. See, we just do not care. And at least we will name Berserker. It will actually, probably will not even. We'll probably just Feed the Serpent. Oh yeah, that will do the trick. We'll get there. And there it is, our first 7 wins on camera. Love it. Being aggressive, just the way we drew it up. Thank you everyone for watching. Definitely appreciate it. Consider liking and subscribing again. We'll continue to put out videos. Keep putting out some standard videos too. And have a great night, everyone.